Hey guys, welcome to Sports Bros. I'm your host, Robert Akron. Today we're welcoming back Jay Robinson.
Thanks for having me back. Can't wait. Let's get started.
All right, so we're doing our week 2 picks this week. So right now, he's 11-4-1. I'm 10-5-1. So we're going to start off. First game of the week, Baltimore Ravens against Cincinnati Bengals Thursday night. What do you got, JR?
I got Baltimore. Easy pick. Cincinnati, they lost last week. Oh, wait, no. No, they won last week.
They won.
They won last week, but they won close. I like Baltimore in this one. They blew out the Bills. I mean, everyone's probably going to blow out the Bills this season, but I like Baltimore. Joe Flacco's always been a consistent quarterback throughout the years. He's always had decent records with the Baltimore Ravens. It's never really been a horrible record for the Ravens since they had Joe Flacco. Baltimore's always been a pretty consistent team. I like Baltimore in this one, even though they're away.
To me, I don't always like going by. I don't like going by home and road because many things could happen, injuries, and based on like what team it is. The Ravens, on the other hand, they had a great week. They're not going to score 47 points again. I'm sorry. They're not going to be like a record-breaking offense. And if anyone thinks that, calm down. All right, don't be Ray Lewis. They pick them to win the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco had a great game. The Bengals, yeah, I know he picked Ray Lewis, picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, how funny is that? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ravens are always good when they get in the playoffs. They always perform in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. But guess what? Steelers win the division.
I don't even know if the Steelers are going to make it, honestly.
All right, they're just such a very dysfunctional team, but we'll see what happens. Going back to what I was saying, Bengals had a decent week. Dalton played good. To me, the Bengals are a worse team than the Baltimore Ravens by a little bit, and just based on how good Flacco did, fire lit up his ass because they drafted Lamar Jackson, how good he played for everybody. I'm going to still pick the Baltimore Ravens too. So that's our same pick. Next game we have is the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. What do you got, JR?
I got Atlanta on this one. Even though Atlanta did lose last week, I think they're going to make a comeback. They're home. Carolina, yes, they did get the win, but Atlanta did versus the Super Bowl champions from last year. I think Atlanta's got a way more talented offense. They got a young defense. I think Atlanta just had an off night when they versed the Eagles. I think Matty Ice is going to come back, and he's going to have a great game. I say Atlanta over Carolina. Easy.
I think I looked at Atlanta last week. Again, they struggled against the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to make a comeback. They're still going to make the wild card, in my opinion. Carolina, they did beat the Dallas Cowboys. They still weren't playing great. And they're at home against the Atlanta Falcons are home against the Panthers. I just like the Falcons teams better. The only thing you got to realize about the Falcons, though, they did lose their big defensive player, Keanu Neal, to a torn ACL injury. Hopefully it doesn't affect anything, but, who's their really big targets for the Carolina Panthers? I mean, they did just lose Greg Olsen for a little while. They do have young receiving core. They just drafted DJ Moore. They also have Devin Funchess. And I forget the other receiver. But, again, I'm not that crazy about the Carolina, deep threat, if that's what it is, if they're losing to Keanu Neal just for this week. But it is a big loss for the Falcons, but we both have the Falcons in this. Next game, we got the Chargers again at the Bills.
I like the Chargers in this one because, of course, the Bills, I think they might be the next 0-16 team. I really don't have any faith in the Bills. I think the Bills are really one of the worst teams ever made in the NFL now because they just took their whole team and kind of just demolished it.
Okay, so I want to know exactly, why do you believe that the Bills are one of the worst teams ever? That's a very bold statement. They did fix up they did release trade a lot of people away and make a new team, but they do have some very great players still. So why do you think that? Why do you think they're going 0-16? I'm very curious.
They don't have a leader. Name a leader that can lead that offense, or a leader that can really lead the team.
LaShawn McCoy.
LaShawn McCoy is that the quarterback?
Okay, so if that's the case,
you need a quarterback.
So let me say this. So when Adrian Peterson led the Minnesota Vikings,
LaShawn McCoy is not no Adrian Peterson in his prime.
Okay, you're right, but I'm saying LaShawn McCoy is still a top 10, top 15 running, probably top 15, but he's still a good running back. It's not like the Browns or any of these teams where they didn't have anybody good on offense.
Yeah, but he can't solely win the Bills games on his own. So I really think the Bills have no shot against a lot of the teams they're versing this year. Maybe they put up a fight with one in division, like maybe Miami. There's a fight. Maybe when the Jets are away, the Jets sometimes do get upset by the Bills.
That would just piss me off.
It would piss me off too. But that's usually I feel like maybe if they get a win, it's going to be in the division.
That must be as bad as 2 years ago when Fitzpatrick threw picks at the end of both games to lose.
And that's why we kind of got rid of Fitzpatrick. That's my reason why.
So then I look at the game, same thing. The Chargers are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. As stupid as it may sound, it wouldn't shock me if it was a tight game because it's at the Bills, and the Chargers did come off a bad week. But you also got to realize too that Philip Rivers had a great game. He had a lot of passes where were just not overthrown, but the receivers weren't catching the ball. Like I saw a few where both Benjamin, Terrell Williams drop balls like in the end zone, and Rivers is like, what's going on? To me, I'm still picking the Chargers too, so we agree on that too. Then the next game we have is the Minnesota Vikings at the Packers. What do you got?
I got Minnesota, even though I do like Aaron Rodgers and I liked, how he's made a halftime speech and got Green Bay back into it. I do think Minnesota is going to win this one on the road. It's not going to be easy, but I do think with their talented roster, and I think Kirk Cousins, great signing. I think great leader for a quarterback. I think their team is just going to beat Green Bay. It's going to be tight, but it's going to be a win.
So also to know that Aaron Rodgers might be out.
And
to be honest, I think he should sit out 1 week because they're playing the Minnesota Vikings, and that's another team that has great power.
Every week matters, though. Every week matters.
No, every week does matter, but I do not think they're going to beat the Minnesota Vikings, dude. The Vikings look really good, and the Packers have a very young defense. And to me, if Rodgers almost didn't come back last week, and he came back to win the game, and he's injured, he's playing another great defensive team that would actually probably knock him out of the game. Actually, the same team, the Minnesota Vikings, knocked him out of the collarbone injury last year. I'm not saying sit Aaron Rodgers, but if he's not 100%, let him sit the week. I'm not saying throw in the towel, but I would rather, I want to see Rodgers fully healthy. You're not going to – I picked him to win the Super Bowl. I'm looking at that now as a little stupid. Kind of. To me, if Rodgers is healthy, I believe in the Packers. But, again, he needs to be healthy. If he's not 100%, don't throw him into the pit, with the Minnesota Vikings.
Green Bay fans, you might not be seeing the double check, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe the hospital check.
Yeah.
So we both picked the Minnesota Vikings. The next game we have is the Cleveland Browns and the New Orleans Saints. I originally did pick the Cleveland Browns, and then I thought, why am I doing that? So we both picked the New Orleans Saints. Why did you pick the Saints?
One, Saints are a very tough team to beat at home. They always have that home field advantage. When you go to the Saints, it's very hard to win.
Now, if that's the case, then why did they lose last week? And get their ass kicked, basically.
Because defense didn't show up. I was very surprised how Fitzmagic just walked all over them, especially with the Tampa Bay.
His nickname Fitzmagic?
Yeah, Fitzmagic. It's his new nickname because he's back. He's back. He's got the beard and he's back. But I do think New Orleans does bounce back. I think Cleveland just doesn't have what it takes to take down such a big team like New Orleans.
Cleveland actually played pretty good last week. Defensively, their offensive was actually struggling. They made a comeback, which is great. Tyrod didn't look that good. They're not going to go to Baker Mayfield yet. He's definitely going to come back later in the year. To me, the Saints are going to bounce back week 2. Their offense was great, so their defense stunk. And even though their defense struggled last week, I don't see anything on the Cleveland Browns offense that makes me scared to pick the Saints over the Cleveland Browns. Next pick, Dolphins at the Jets.
Well, you already know my pick. It's right on here.
You're gonna pick 16 and 0 for the Jets this year.
Well, honestly, I think looking at their schedule, I think they could go with 10 wins and 6 losses.
See, if they had an easier schedule, I could maybe say okay, but they're gonna win 5 to 8 games this year, in my opinion.
I'll be totally wrong, but anyway.
We'll get into that to another video. We'll do a special edition on the Jets.
Anyway, Jets at home. They came out 48 points they put up. Now, they ain't putting up 48 points probably against Miami, but that defense is like one of the best, if not the best in the league. Jets have a great secondary, great defensive line. Dude, why are you looking at me like that?
So the Jets have one good defensive week, and now they're maybe the best defense in the league.
The Jets had.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, they had the best defense in the league. Oh yeah, when they were in the playoffs. Wait, when was that? 8 years ago?
Yo, actually 2012. They were in the playoffs in 2012.
No, they weren't. They made the playoffs in 2009 and 10. They made the playoffs. They made the playoffs with Sanchez in his first year. In his second year, made the AFC Championship both years. Then the following year in 2011.
Yeah, we should have been in the playoffs with Fitzmagic, but he He blew us that game.
Don't even get me started that. And that actually was a good defense, but like that wasn't the best defense in the league. All right, you want to say 8 years ago? Okay, then I'll maybe give you a chance. But like, all right, calm it down, James. I get 5 picks and that's great. 1 pick six. They're not gonna do that every week.
They are going to be.
They,
Miami will not score more than 3 touchdowns against the Jets.
Here's one thing I'll say. The Jets play great, but like eventually their defense is gonna be limited because like they don't have a great pass rush. They do have Leonard Williams. He's more like a power rusher, run stopper type of defensive player.
Well, I think the Jets could pick someone up.
I would love to trade for like guy like Dante Fowler, give like a 3rd round pick for him from Jacksonville because Jacksonville isn't really utilizing him that much. He was picked over Leonard Williams about 4 years ago. I would love to get him to be a good defensive end for us, but we'll see. We both picked the Jets on that. I think it'd be a pretty close game. I think it's going to be a blowout. But the next game we have is the Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Finally got a disagreement to argue about. So you picked the Chiefs. Why did you pick the Chiefs over the Steelers?
I don't know. Look at the last week. You had Patrick Mahomes going off on his first career start. You had Tyreek Hill running up and down the field. It was just great showing by the Chiefs. Really came out, really fired on all cylinders, and they really just sent a message.
To me, I look at that and I say, okay, you got a good argument there. You say the Kansas City Chiefs had a great week, and that's true. Tyreek Hill's not gonna go off like that again this week. Mahomes is not gonna go off like that again this week.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the Steelers actually played pretty good defense against the Browns. I get they don't have that much of an offense, but their defense actually did play pretty good.
Yeah, but the Browns are a brand new offensive team. You got a brand new quarterback. You got a brand new wide receiver.
I'm not saying this is gonna be a blowout game. It's gonna be a very tight game, but I'm picking the Steelers at home. Big Ben's gonna have a better week this week. Kansas City doesn't have that great of a defense. They've gotten rid of a lot of players. Like last year, they traded away Marcus Peters. They don't have Tom Huntley, Derek Johnson. They added Anthony Hitchens. We'll see what happens though. But we're both at difference on that. I think it's gonna be a close game though. So in the next game, another disagreement. Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now you picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I want to know why.
That's my bold prediction of the week. I gotta go bold on one thing. You gotta go. Fitzmagic, I believe. I believe Tampa Bay with Fitzmagic can upset Super Bowl champions on Sunday.
Okay, so you look at the Eagles. Their defense was great last week.
Yes.
All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense was their defense great last week?
No, they didn't show up at all.
Okay. Eagles are going to bounce back because of their offense. You're telling me that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to put up 47 points against the Eagles defense?
No, I do not, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, actually. I think Nick Foles is not going to have the greatest day. I think Tampa Bay's defense is actually going to show up this week, and I do think Fitzmagic will put up a good enough showing to win by a game-winning field goal. I think my score prediction will be 27-24.
We're not doing scores, but
that's my big prediction. That's my big bold prediction on that game.
If that's the final score, I'll give you $1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Something off $1 maybe McDonald's.
Yeah. I should $1.49, so you got to pay for there 50 cents. So then you look. So to me, like I always believe in defense over offense. If we're gonna say they're even, their Eagles' offense was not good, defense was great. Tampa Bay's offense was good, which was great, but I don't think it's gonna be the same. And their defense wasn't doing that good. I'm gonna look at one thing: the running game. The Eagles running game got a lot of running backs. They played a very good running game. I feel like they're gonna turn the running game, and I think they're going to win the game with the running game and the defense. Who's gonna play better who's gonna make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers score a lot less points. I'm sorry, Fitzmagic. You're not gonna win it. You're not gonna win it. No, I'm sorry, man. Next game, Houston at Tennessee. I'm believing in the Texans again. Winning my wild card, picking them again over Tennessee. I want to know why you were picking Tennessee over the Texans first.
I'm picking Tennessee on this one. I'm telling you why. Marcus Mariota, he's going to bounce back. I know you're not a big believer in him, but I think he's really a great quarterback. He really knows how to roll out, really knows how to read the field. I think Tennessee's got this game. They're home. I think it's going to be a close game, very close game. It's going to come down to the wire. But I think since Tennessee's home, I think that home field advantage is really going to push them the extra step.
Yeah, I like Tennessee's offense. They got 2 good running backs, Henry and Lewis, and then the receiving core is okay, I guess. I mean, Rashad Matthews is good. They just lost Delaney Walker for the season. They saw the first-round pick last year, Corey Davis, and then the great tackles at Conklin and Lewan. So their offense is good. Their defensive ball, I'm not that crazy about it. They did add Malcolm Butler, but still I'm not that crazy about their defense. Um, Houston lost by 7 points. They did struggle, but they're going into Tennessee where they still have a very good defense. I think Deshaun Watson's gonna light it up against the Titans, and I still believe in Houston, and I do not believe in Mariota. Never did, never will.
Well, you will after next week.
What?
You will after next week.
Oh, what? Wait. So what is he gonna do? He's gonna throw the ball to Darrelle Revis again, and it's gonna tip off. He's gonna catch it and run in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Um,
Very athletic player.
Very athletic. All right. Yeah, it's very athletic, but he's not that good. Like he's okay.
They will never go to a Super Bowl with them, no, but next week they will win.
All right. Well, we'll see. All right. So then the next game we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Washington Redskins. Another disagreement. I have the Colts. You have Washington Redskins. I want to know why you picked the Washington Redskins over the Colts, and don't give me that look because they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he's healthy. The Indianapolis Colts.
Well, how about you tell me why the Colts? Because guess what? That makes no sense. Redskins showed up last week. Colts lost last week. They're going to go 0-2 the Colts. That's how they're going to start the season. I'll tell you why. Because Washington Redskins, Alex Smith, very consistent player. He's always been on a team. What has he always been on a team? Probably with a winning record. 49ers used to win when they had him.
Well, not exactly in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, yes. But then, the 49ers kind of went on a downhill. They lost a lot of guys. Then he went to the Chiefs. Andy Reid and him, they worked together for so long and so nice. It went great. And now he's on the Washington Redskins, and I think this is not even going to be a game. I think this game is going to be a blowout. I think they're going to win by like 21 points. I can't see Indianapolis beating Washington. Especially, I feel like Alex Smith's going to tear up the Indianapolis defense.
So this is going to be a very tight game in my opinion. Yes, Alex Smith played great. Their defense isn't great. That's one thing I will say. They played against a team that was struggling very, very bad last week in the Cardinals. I think Sam Bradford was starting. Sam Bradford, he's done. He's garbage. But then I look at the Indianapolis Colts. They played a very tight game against the Bengals. I don't like their defense. Never did. I will never say I like the Colts defense. It's one of the worst in the leagues. But Luck had a great game last week. He shocked me. He showed me something that he still has it in the tank. He led his team to 11-5 records, like 3 years in a row with terrible defenses. Even led to the AFC Championship game. I'm not saying they wouldn't make the playoffs, because I like the Texans and the Jaguars over them. They could maybe make a run, but it's still a harder division than it was before. Tight game, but I'm still picking Andrew Luck and the Colts only because of Andrew Luck. If it wasn't because of Andrew Luck, I would just already I would always say the Washington Redskins over the Indianapolis Colts, but we'll see what happens. So our next game we have is the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams. Game's your pick.
Rams easy pick. Arizona just don't have it to beat the Rams. Rams at home. There's no matchup. Though I can't see any chance of Arizona even trying to put up a fight with the Rams. Probably another blowout game. I think Rams win this one easy. Probably 28-3.
I mean, they're home, and their defense is still working together. So they did add all those players, but we'll see what happens with that. But I will never pick I will bet money that the Rams beat the Cardinals. Next game, Detroit gets San Francisco. Both teams that struggled last week pretty bad. So what do you got?
I like San Francisco on this one. I think it's going to be a tight game. I know Jimmy G didn't really have a great week. And I know Matt Stafford didn't really have a great week. I think both of them are going to have a bounce-back week. But I think in the end, I think San Francisco is going to win. It's going to be a tight game up in the high 20s, mid-30s. Probably like a 30-27 game, something around there.
Now, Jimmy G did have a bad week. The guy was they're also playing the Minnesota Vikings defense. The Detroit Lions I picked the Jets to beat the Lions, but they surprised me. Jets surprised me how great their defense was. They still are. San Francisco bounce back week, but I think the San Francisco 49ers at this point are a better team than the Lions. So me and you both agree with that. We've got San Francisco. Next game we got Oakland at Denver. Now you picked Denver and I picked Oakland. So I understand they're home, but why don't you think Oakland has a chance?
I think the way Denver played last week against Seattle, great defense. Von Miller really showed his talent. Everyone knows how good Von Miller is. Getting another strip fumble. I think he's gonna have another one against Oakland. He always.
Oh, he had a strip fumble, really?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
He's I think just overall Denver's just a better team. The better defense. I think in my eyes. I think Oakland did lose Cleo Mack, one of the best linebackers in the league, if not the best. Runner-up with Von Miller. I just can't see.
I see a disappointing.
Yeah. I just can't see Oakland beating Denver at home in the Mile High City.
Now, to me, if this was last week when we were making our picks, I would agree with you 100%. Oakland showed me something last week. Oakland really dropped the ball, getting rid of Khalil Mack. I didn't like what they did, the all-season moves. They got a lot of old players. Carr played very good against the Rams defense, and it shocked me. Amari Cooper's going to have a bounce-back week, I think. Denver's offense is really good. Keenum and connected with Thomas and Sanders. But you got to realize, though, they weren't playing the Seattle Seahawks defense. They weren't what they used to be with the Legion of Boom. All they have is Earl Thomas back, and he didn't even practice, I'm pretty sure. He just came back just in time for the game. He was on a holdout. Bobby Wagner's still there. To me, I'm not saying that Denver can't beat the Oakland Raiders. It's going to be a tight game, but I'm still going to pick the Raiders. I like what Carr did last week. I believe in Carr. I believe Mark Cooper's going to have a bounce back week. So we'll see what happens. The final game we have is the Patriots and Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be a fun argument. You have the Jaguars over the Patriots. Enlighten me.
Jacksonville's home. And usually no one else beats the Patriots when they're home, but Patriots are not home today. On Sunday. But I really think that Jacksonville, they have a little grudge. They want to get out against the Patriots. The Patriots eliminated them in the playoffs last season. We all know that. And I think Jacksonville's going to come out with a little fire. I feel like Jalen Ramsey might have a pick or two, and Myles Jack. I feel like Tom Brady might have 2 to 3 picks. That's my bold prediction. And I feel like it's going to be a tight game, but I feel it's going to be very low scoring because we all know the Jags don't have an offense. Austin Seferian Jay's going to drop 3 touchdowns. Oh, no, he ain't catching 3 touchdown passes. I'll tell you that because he dropped 3 in the freaking last season in the Jets in the end zone. Easy catches. I can't believe it.
Still best time we have since Dustin Keller, though.
Yes, it is. But anyway, I really think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to upset the Patriots. My another bold prediction of the week. And let's go Jags.
So that's a very bold prediction. Here's one thing. You're saying that the Patriots on the road can't win?
No, I'm not saying that. But when they do lose, they lose on the road. So I feel like this is the one they're going to lose on the road.
So, again, I said that I thought the Patriots would be a slow start this year. They had to come up firing last week against Houston. Fournette had a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's going to be playing. He's going to be 100% on Sunday. That was their whole offense, really. T.J. Yeldon had the 1 touchdown, but, it's like the Giants' defense was playing that great. They don't have many good wide receivers in Jacksonville. Bortles didn't play that good. I'm not saying the defense can't go against Brady, but Brady played really good last year against the AFC Championship game. I'm picking Tom Brady and the Patriots to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Do you think it's going to be a tight game?
It could be, but again, if Tom Brady's on, I don't know because again, if Fournette was healthy, then I would say it's more close. But I don't know if Fournette's even going to be playing or if he's just going to not be 100%. He might be in for a few plays and come out because he has still a hamstring injury. And I like T.J. Yeldon, but T.J. Yeldon is going to kill the Patriots. I'm sorry.
I know, but I think it's going to be very low scoring. But I think Jacksonville's going to upset the Patriots this week.
We'll see what happens. I just still think it's Patriots. Second last game, we had the Giants at the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Be a very good game to watch. Good rivalry game. So I picked the Giants, my division pick. You picked Dallas Cowboys, and I wonder why.
I picked Dallas. Again, they are home. I like home teams. I really do believe in a home field advantage. And I know Dallas really, really had an awful week last week. There was just nothing in Dallas. It was just watching. I don't even know. I stopped watching the game. It was just a horrible game. I just really believe in Dallas on this one. I think I think it's going to be tight. I think Saquon Barkley's going to have a good game with the Giants, but I think it's just not going to be enough to beat Dallas. I feel like Dallas is just going to win.
Okay, so you're going to talk about Dallas saying that, they did lose last week. They lost to the Panthers, okay? The Panthers. The Giants lost to the Jaguars by 5 points. They were actually in it. If Eli Manning would have thrown 2 better passes, it would have been catch by OBJ. I don't like the what if this would have happened, but still. Giants did struggle last week. Their offense was horrible, but they were playing probably the best defensive line and probably maybe the best offensive line in the league in Saxonville. And they were actually in a close game. Dallas was horrible. Even Elliott was horrible. Like, come on, you can't tell me that Dallas had a good week last week.
No,
They have no receiving core. They don't have the big tight end Jason Witten anymore. They don't have a tight end. They don't have a wide receiver. They don't have. I think Travis Frederick is still out. I think he's got diagnosed with something, like a disease or something. I don't know if he's even still playing or not right now. I don't believe in their defense. Look at the Giants. They're still my division pick. And Eli Manning's going to have a bounce-back week. He's not playing Jalen Ramsey. He's not playing Jacksonville defensive rush. Stop looking at me like that, because it's the truth. The Giants are my division pick, yes.
Over the Eagles.
Yes. Here's why.
Did you just hear this?
Yes, they heard it on my other videos. My division pick is the Giants over the Eagles. I don't know when Wentz is coming back. If Wentz was starting week 1, the Giants would not be winning division. But since Wentz isn't starting right away, they're going to wait for him to start. The Eagles are going to probably win 9 games, but but to me, it's a very hard wild card race, and I think the Giants are going to win 9 to 10 games and just win the division.
That is a bold prediction, my friend, because I do not think that is going to happen.
That is a bold prediction. I like the Giants this year. I like how they got Saquon Barkley for this year. For the long term, I'm not that crazy about it, but. They got a healthier team now. I mean, eventually the O-line is going to click. Eric Flowers is awful. But again, they're playing Dallas Cowboys. Their biggest pass rusher is Lawrence. But that's, Sean Lee's back from injury too. I'm not saying they have a terrible defense, but it's not like they're playing Jacksonville and their cornerbacks again. So again, I'm picking the Giants over the Dallas Cowboys. Last game of the week, Seattle Seahawks at Chicago Bears. Now, last video, you said you were going to pick the Seattle Seahawks over the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Now, earlier in the day, you were saying Chicago Bears were going to win. So, what changed in that? What changed in your mindset that you decided to change against the Chicago Bears, who just lost because of the greatness of Aaron Rodgers?
Because I thought Denver was going to blow out Seattle, and Seattle proved me wrong. They put up a fight against Denver, and I think Seattle's got something still. I feel like they got a little bit, not a playoff team, but I think Chicago and Seattle are very evenly matched. I know Chicago is home, and I usually go with the home pick, but I really like Seattle on this one. I think Russell Wilson's a better quarterback than Mark Trubisky. I feel like
Mitchell Trubisky. I don't like Trubisky.
I think Russell Wilson can lead this team to a dub out in Chicago.
Only reason why I give him a chance because Russell Wilson. I hate the Seahawks right now.
They got Doug Baldwin, yeah.
Doug Baldwin's injured.
Oh man, he's injured. Oh man, I didn't even know that.
You're not changing your pick now. You already said it in the last video.
Yeah, I still go with Seattle.
You're stuck with it, dude.
I still go with Seattle. They're still gonna win.
Yeah, right. So the Bears.
27-14.
Dude, we're not doing these like. What are you gonna do? Like a magic ball? Like I say, 27-14.
You watch 27-14 right here.
That's funny. So Chicago Bears defense is gonna dominate. Their offense was actually pretty good last week. And I still picked the Bears over the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football. Bears did improve. I'm not a Trubisky fan. But they were putting up a great fight against – they were winning against the Packers. And it wasn't for – Rodgers is making a spectacular comeback, which makes him the Hulk, which is just perfect Aaron Rodgers. It wouldn't have happened. But so those are our picks this week. Let's see. How many disagreements do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have 8 out of 16 disagreements.
Yeah, guess what? One of us is going to be 16-0, and the other's going to be 8-8. I know I'm going to go 16-0.
Yeah, right. Okay, all right. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.